Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our online international pre-arrival webinar just for Macquarie University International College students. Look, we are going to cover a lot of things today, so be sure to be listening. And of course, if you do have any questions at all, right at the end today, we're going to have plenty of time to answer any questions you might have about Macquarie, study, and life in Sydney as well, if you have any general questions. So, let's get to it. I suppose at this point you may be thinking, who is the strange bearded man in front of you? Well, it's me. Hello, my name is Andrew. I'm one of the student advisors here at the college, and we will get to know each other very well quite soon. I'm also joined here by the two members of our engagement team, Amy and Jessie, who are going to help me answer your questions today at the end of the main presentation. Now, we are going to cover a lot of things today. So, exactly what will you learn? Firstly, we're going to welcome you to Macquarie University. Then, we'll cover the important information you might need to know, not just about your studies, but actually coming to Australia and settling in. Then we'll talk about your enrolment. What are units to do, what units to take and complete, and how to complete them to finish your program. We'll talk about orientation as well, your very first day as a Macquarie University student. It's very important that you do attend, and we're going to cover a lot that day as well, so be sure to be there. And finally, life as a student in Australia. There are many parts of Australia that are very unfamiliar to you, but you'll be surprised how much is familiar as well. So, welcome. Hey, welcome to Macquarie University. We are a fantastic campus full of exciting and new developments and opportunities. Opportunities is the main part of university, allowing you to progress and become better and learn. You can see there, we have our amazing library as the main picture there. It looks like a spaceship. There's a reason for that. It's run by robots. Legitimately run by robots. A large part of our collection, over 1 million books, is managed by a remote automated retrieval system called the ARC. We also have multiple museums on campus, learning opportunities. There is a spice garden, and somewhere you'll even find a giant Kodiak bear. And that's real. So, let's start with the beginning, traveling to Australia. Now, we have on the screen at the moment a good checklist of things for you to consider before you set foot on the plane. Firstly, it might sound silly, but your passport. Your passport needs to expire no less than 6 months after you enter Australia. If your passport's going to expire 2 weeks after you set foot on Australian soil, update your passport now. Otherwise, we can't let you in. Your visa. Now, you are a student, and that means you are also an adult. You are responsible for knowing the rights and responsibilities of your student visa, and there are a few things in there you need to know. So read it carefully, and if you do have questions, be sure to contact the government to answer them. Your ECOE, your electronic confirmation of enrolment. You will need to present a copy of your ECOE when you arrive, along with your letter of offer and receipts for your tuition payments as well. So don't forget to have it on hand when you arrive. OSHC, Overseas Health Cover. Every international student is required to have health cover that covers them for the entire length of all their programs. As a college student, you will be starting in a foundation or intensive or diploma program, but you will move into a bachelor program. Your health cover must cover you for the entire time. And if your program will now take longer than your health cover, you'll need to extend that cover as well. Be sure as well to bring any academic documents with you. At some point, you may need to prove that you already know a subject, like mathematics or physics. You might also, in the future, want to see if you can have any of your units exempt because you've already studied that at a previous time. So be sure to bring any academic transcripts, details of exactly what you studied and the assessments you took, so we can know if you know what you're doing. And finally, your CAAW, which is the confirmation of appropriate accommodation and welfare. If you're under 18, we always need to make sure that you're safe. So please have that letter with you when you arrive. Border control, the first time you will meet Australians, and they are a little bit severe. There are some big restrictions on what you can bring into Australia. And the number one thing that many people forget about is food. Do not bring any fruits and vegetables to Australia, or please declare them at the border. And on your plane, be sure to read all the customs instructions by border agents so that when you land, you know if you need to declare anything. Remember, they are policemen. You need to act appropriately. If you'd like to learn more, you can go to the Australian Border Force website. And as an added bonus today, at the end of the presentation, every link that I have talked about, we will put up in the chat area, allowing you to access all of these links as much as you need to. Airport pickup. You're going to touch down in Sydney and there will be someone there to get you. But you do need to request it first. Macquarie University does offer international airport pickup to all students. To get it, you'll need to submit a request online, and we'll send that link to you as well. Remember that you'll need to submit this at least 5 working days before you arrive, otherwise known as 1 week, not including public holidays. When you've submitted that application, you'll then receive a confirmation of your pickup time within 3 working days of your flight. And we can deliver you to anywhere in Sydney, not just the campus, but any private residential address you want to go to as well. Getting around. Maybe you don't want someone to pick you up and you want to explore on your first day here. Or eventually, you're all going to need to learn to use a train or a bus in Sydney. All of our public transport is managed with one card, the Opal Card. The Opal Card is a little bit like a credit card, except it only holds money for travel. When you get on a bus or a train, you tap the card, and when you get off, you tap it again, and the money is automatically deducted. There are some fantastic benefits to the Opal Card as well. If you have lots of travel within a week, you get discounts. On Sundays, all travel is discounted to a certain amount. And if you travel enough in a week, the rest of your travel is free. Now, there are a lot of different types of Opal Cards. Child, concession. You will be getting an adult Opal Card. You can see it on the screen there. It's nice and black and easy to see. So, what should you bring? These are 2 things that a lot of people get surprised by. Firstly, our electricity may be different to your electricity, both in voltage and the plugs that we have. Australia, the standard voltage is 230 volts with a frequency of 50 hertz. And you can see an example of what our PowerPoints look like right there. So if you've got a laptop or a phone charger you're bringing with you, either make sure it fits our power plug or buy an adapter before you get here. You can also probably pick one up at the Australian airport when you arrive. Now, one issue we've sometimes had with students is that they'll come to Australia and immediately attempt to pay with their own money, or sometimes US dollars. Nowhere in Australia accepts any currency but Australian dollars, the lovely colourful things you see on the screen there. They look a bit like Monopoly money, but it means it's easy to understand. So, pick some up before you get on the plane or when you arrive in Australia. Accommodation. You need somewhere to stay. Now, that could be on campus in a type of accommodation that is known or sponsored by the university, or you can live on your own or in private accommodation with a number of other students. The choice is yours. And we can see on the screen lots of different types of accommodation. We have places like Dunmore Lang or the Macquarie Village. These are university housing. They're located on campus. And there's also the Robert Menzies College under that as well. There are student-sponsored accommodations like Igloo, your Damon Apartments, the Morling Residential College and the Herring Road Apartments. These are close to the campus, but might be a little bit of a walk to get to class. And of course, you can try temporary accommodation, homestay or private accommodation as well. Macquarie has a fantastic accommodation department. So if you're having trouble getting a house or you're planning to move, go talk to them. And one word of advice, before you dedicate yourself to getting a house, look up exactly where it is in Sydney. Don't assume that everything is close to the university. Have a look at public transport lines. See how easy it is to get to campus. Otherwise, you might have to take a 2-hour train trip. Enrolment and orientation. How to pass your course and what to enrol in. So, hopefully all of you have now received your offer and accepted it. However, if you haven't, this is the landing page, the first page you should see when receiving your offer. Now, it has a lot of options to choose from, so we've conveniently selected them there on the picture for you. Select Diplomas, Standard Foundation Intensive Program, select Term 1 2019, and be sure to tick the International box as well. Then hit Get Your Enrolment Information to find out your customised information details. You'll be presented with a checklist, things that you should be looking after or looking at as you're planning to enrol. Now, the most important of these is your student ID number. You all should have your student ID number already. It's 8 numbers long and it starts with a 4. All of your numbers will start with a 4 and be 8 numbers long. So look on your offer letter for it. Step 2, getting to know the language. You're going to learn another language when you reach university, and that is academic English. Along with academic English, you have a lot of new words. What is the difference between a major and a specialisation? What is a disruption and what is an event? Things like this. And one of the most important words you're going to learn is handbook. The handbook is the Bible. It tells you everything about Macquarie, every degree, every program, every unit, every time the units run, what they're called, what is in them. Now, we have our own area of the handbook at the college to make it easy for you to find that information. And you can see it on the screen there, circled with a red circle. If you go down there, you can see all the units are available, or you can click programs to find out the units available for just the program you're going to study. Now, an example of what a program looks like in the handbook is now on the screen. This is the top of the Diploma of Accounting, Commerce and Business Administration. And the handbook page will essentially tell you everything you need to know. But it can be hard to read, so let's quickly have a look at it. The main area of your handbook page is going to show you the units that you need to complete to be able to pass the course. And there we are there. All the unit codes are listed in red. You can see some are required. Some give you the option to pick between 2 or 3 different units. And if you take your mouse on the handbook and you hover over the unit code in red, that box will appear telling you when the unit runs, so when you can study it next, and if there's any prerequisites, which means units you have to do before you can get into that unit. Maybe it's a test. Maybe it's an easier unit before you attempt a hard one. The handbook will tell you everything. Enrolling. So now that you know what to do, how do you do it? Before you enrol, however, let's introduce you to eStudent. This is your one-stop enrolment workshop. You will update your details, you will pay your fees, you will choose your units and make your timetable for classes. And one of the most important things you need to do as an international student is make sure your details are always up to date, both address and contact phone number and email. You can do this under the My Details section of eStudent, that one in the top left-hand corner. Change your personal details or your contact details there. Update them the moment you arrive in Australia, because once you're here, that's how we're going to contact you. And that is how we know to get in touch. If you're under 18, you may not be able to update these details yourself. Don't worry. Once you arrive in Australia and meet with the wonderful representatives of Campus Wellbeing, who will be managing your time as an under 18 student, they can assist you in updating those details as well. The actual good business of enrolling is done under the My Enrolment tab. Now, when you first click it, you'll be potentially given a whole bunch of options of which program you can select. you need to select the one that has the status of admitted. This is the one that you've been given an offer for and you have accepted. If it says admitted, you can enroll. So click select. You've now come to your study plan. Here is where you'll physically choose the units and also the terms when you take them. You can see on the screen there that with the unit WACB 100, we can use the drop-down list to select to do it in term 1, term 2, term 4 and term 5. So if we need to take it later, we do have other opportunities. But also notice that it's not running in term 3 or term 6. That is an important part of planning your program, not just knowing when units will run, but knowing when they're not going to run at all. Once you've selected the term, you can tick the box on the right-hand side of the page and then select the big red Enroll button on the bottom left to enroll in the units you've selected for the terms you've chosen. Once you've done the units, you have to continue. Everything always requires confirmation. So don't just click Enroll and walk away because you haven't enrolled. We need to make sure that you've chosen correctly. So please reconfirm on the following page. Now, once enrolment is done, you'll now make your timetable. And you do have some freedom as to when you study your classes. Sometimes in some diplomas or in foundation programs, there are more restrictive or less restrictive options, but you will always have a choice in when you can study. To do this, go to the My Classes tab, and you'll see your already enrolled units there. If you've already registered for a class, the timetable will appear below you and a green dot will appear beside the unit. If the dot is red or if it's yellow, you have not registered correctly. So hit change or enroll and register, depending on the button you have. And you'll be taken to this page. All of your classes at Macquarie University International College are organised by streams or groups. This always ensures you have the same teacher who will be looking after you for the entirety of one term. So when you see this page, don't go to the right and click individual classes. Look to the left and you'll see that we've already grouped them together into streams, stream 1, stream 2, stream 3. You can see if the stream currently still has space in it by hovering your mouse over the stream on the left-hand side. If the lessons light up in the main timetabler, there's space. Simply click the box on the stream and go Save at the top of the page to lock in your registration. Now don't worry, if your other class needs you to change your current registration, you can alter your timetable at any time up until the second day of class. So you can play around and try and make the best timetable possible for you. Orientation. My favourite part. Orientation is when you will first come to the college and the university and we will tell you everything. There is a lot of things I am not talking about today or I'm glossing over. However, your orientation is important. We will tell you what to do if you're sick. You need to know how to pass, what exams. Additionally to that, we're going to talk about the support facilities that are available. You are not alone. University can be very hard. It's meant to be a challenge. You are meant to challenge yourself, but sometimes you do need help to get there, whether it's academic or just well-being. You can also meet your classmates and teachers for the first time. You'll have a chance to explore our massive campus, get your student card, and also set up all of your online resources and access, like your student email and your account for what's called iLearn, which is the online version of all of your units. And it's mainly where you'll submit all your assignments as well. So it's very important that you come on orientation so we can give you that information. Life as a student in Australia. Now, I've been a student in Australia, but I'm Australian. And I'm used to it, so there are many things that you might not be expecting. Now, a very important part of being a student in Australia and at Macquarie is getting involved. If you don't get involved and you just come to class and go home and come to class and go home, you're at school again. You're back in high school. Part of university is getting involved, and Macquarie has a lot of student groups available. I think it's at about 130 at this moment in time, covering almost any form of academic discipline, every country. So if you want to meet people from your own country, join their group. You want to meet people who are going to become an actuarial study student? Join the group. If you want to act, join the group. A good part about university, and an important thing to remember, is that fun doesn't find you. Fun does not come to you and say, hello, would you like fun? Oh yes, I love some fun, thank you very much. That's not how it works. You need to get involved. You need to make the connections, and you need to get out there and experience what is available. And trust me, it'll be the best decision you've ever made. It's like having an inbuilt friend group. It's fantastic. Now, there's other parts to being a student, and still getting involved at Macquarie. We have other programs like the Global Leadership Program, which you can start to investigate the moment you enter Macquarie. This allows you access to academic and important talks to help improve your studies or your standing or your business skills. It gives you the opportunity to travel around the world as a representative. There are so many opportunities as part of the Global Leadership Program that I'm just going to stop talking about them. Otherwise, I'll be here the whole afternoon and we're not going to get anything done. Once again, get involved. You owe it to yourself. You are paying a lot of money to be at Macquarie, and we are very happy to have you. So please access everything that we provide. Now, I'm done. I've talked at you now for probably about 20 minutes straight. So if you do have any questions about Macquarie, about student life, about Sydney, I've been at Macquarie now for 11 years. I'm basically a statue. So let's see if there's any questions you've got. All righty, right. Okay, anonymous attendee says, can I ride a bike to the campus? Well, luckily, riding bikes is not illegal in Australia. So yes, you can. We actually encourage it. There are some fantastic cycleways all through the Ryde and Greater Ryde area, allowing you to get anywhere you need to go, often without ever getting on to a main road. Additionally, there are bike hubs on campus, which you can access for free, and you can park your bike in a secure facility. You have lockers and showers available for you. So you're not even sweaty or terrible or tired when you come to your class. You're full and refreshed. So ride a bike. I should. I'm a bit overweight, but I don't have a bike. So be the inspiration I need. What else do we have? Do I need to book an appointment to get help with my enrolment? No, if you come to orientation. Orientation is your chance to get this help. Now, you are able to contact us beforehand and we can advise you by email, but there is no substitute for you coming on the day and getting hands-on enrolment help. And you can meet myself and the other advisors in person and we can tell you everything you need. Now, if you miss orientation, or if after orientation you do just want extra help or guidance, you can then always book a time with one of our advisors, including myself and any of the others that are available. And every day at the college between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock, any student can come see an advisor without even booking an appointment. So there's lots of help available if you need it. Is there a, I'm going to assume that says Cactus growing group. Nothing that specific, I'm afraid. We don't often deal with desert plants, despite the fact Australia is very hot. However, I'm almost certain that there is a biological sciences group that does specialise in herpetology. So, join it. Alternatively, and this goes for all of you, if you look for a student group and you find it doesn't exist, you think, gee, I'd really love to play iPhone games with my friends, but there's no iPhone game group. Just start the group. People will come to you. There are 40,000 students on campus with another 3,000 staff members. You won't be the only person that likes it, even if it's something really tiny. I started 2 student groups. One of them's still around. The other one was a bit too specific. But the other ones are still here. And I was part of the setting up of the Macquarie Musical Society as well, heavily involved during the early years. So you can have the opportunity not only to start your own groups, but to develop ones that already exist and make them grow stronger into something that you truly love. What have we got here? Should I enroll now or should I wait until later? I'm always of two minds about this. Now, it is always good to get help. That means you always know you're doing it correctly. However, you're an adult. You're at university. You have legitimately been qualified as smart enough to come to a university. So, at least try and enroll. There are program guides online, or you can contact us earlier, or as a really easy hint for you, on your study plan on eStudent, your study plans are organised into stages. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3 and Stage 4. As a general rule, your first term is Stage 1. So what you can do is try on eStudent and find Stage 1 and enrol in those 2 units for Term 1. Then feel free to come and check it. Or when you come to orientation, ask whether you did it correctly. We might already know if you've done it correctly. So just ask as orientation. If it's too scary or hard though, or you really don't want to make a mistake, you can wait until orientation, but give it a try first. It's pretty easy. Can we change the units that we're enrolled in? Yes, you can. Now, there is always a recommended order that you should be completing your units. I just talked about those stages before, and that's what the recommended order is. Stage 1, complete, to Stage 2, complete, Stage 3, complete, Stage 4, complete. However, there may be times when you have to withdraw from a unit, maybe times when a unit doesn't run when you need it to. Maybe you fail a unit and you need to take it again out of order. If that's the case, you can enroll into a unit any time that it is available. But if at all possible, follow the groupings, follow the stages, because not only can we guarantee that the units will be offered one after each other in a term, there is also the greatest variety of options when you make your timetable. So if you start to break those stages and do random combinations of units all across the place, your timetable might start at 8 a.m. and finish at 8 p.m. And that sucks. So you can, but maybe check with us if you're planning on breaking the stages first. What else do we have? Do I need to arrive early to attend orientation? Now, orientation will take place, I believe it is the 30th, Wednesday the 30th of January. So it's probably a good idea maybe to arrive in Australia a day or two before that. We have met students who have come straight from the airport and they do not look happy. They look very tired and some of them fall asleep. So maybe a couple of days early is good. Then you can adjust to the time zone and get to know Sydney. You're going to be here for up to 3-4 years maybe. It needs to become part of you. It needs to become your home away from home. So take the opportunity before your course starts to learn about your new home. That should be motivation enough to come a touch early. Will I get to meet other students at orientation to make a friend? No, we all keep you isolated in very separate rooms with boxes on your head. Yes, you will meet other people. We encourage it. Every student starting in Term 1 will attend orientation. You can meet people from your program, from other programs. You'll meet your teachers. There'll be a lunch for you to meet new people as well. Please talk to as many people as possible. In fact, I'm pretty sure we run some games as part of orientation where you have to talk to new people. So don't worry, you're going to make a friend. What if I missed orientation? I will cry. I will cry myself to sleep. I won't. It's fine. Look, sometimes your visas come too late. Sometimes flights are delayed. You can't control the weather. You can't control the plane. So if you're going to miss orientation, firstly, we offer a late orientation, a repeat of what occurred on the Wednesday, except it will occur on the Friday, just 2 days later. Now, if you miss that as well, I'll cry even more. But in your first week of class, maybe your first day, come and talk to us at the college student desk. It's located on the level 2 of a building called 10 Macquarie Walk. And that building is where you're going to have pretty much all of your classes. So we're very easy to spot. On your first day, come talk to us and book an appointment with myself or another advisor, and we'll go over what you missed at orientation. It's okay to miss orientation if you really, really, really have to. Not because you slept in, but because of something bad. But just remember to get that information. It is the information that's important, not the date. So remember, on that date, you make friends, which is good. What else do we have? Can I work part-time and can the uni help me find jobs? Yes and yes. As an international student, and please check your visa about this. There are requirements and regulations about how much you can work while you're studying. I think it is 20 hours a week, no more work than that. Remember, you are here to study. You are doing full-time study. It is called full-time because it is like a full-time job. So minimal amount of work, but you can still work. Now, if you're having trouble getting a job, Macquarie can help you with that. We do have a careers and employment service on campus. Now, they do run an online job board that has a lot of job opportunities and internships as well for students in the local Macquarie area and Greater Sydney as well. And they tend to be quite flexible or related to helping you improve your knowledge. But the Career and Employment Service does so much more than that as well. They can organise one-on-one appointments with yourself and them to go through your resume, to talk about what jobs you might be eligible for when you finish your degree. Sometimes you might know what degree you want to do, but no idea what job that leads to. That's common. It's okay to not know what you want to be when you grow up, but they can help you discover it or give you options. They can also help you improve your resume. They run workshops in improving your interview skills so that you can sell yourself better to a job applicant. There is a lot of help for that available. But as I said before about student groups where you need to get involved and find the fun, if you want the help, you need to go ask for it. If you want help with a job, you go ask for it. We are here to help you, but you must be the one to make the connection. So don't be afraid about talking to us. We've all had to get our first job before as well, particularly a student job. What else? What kind of electronic items are necessary to bring in university? This is a bit of an interesting question because part of it depends on your personal preference, how you know that you study the best. Now, some people, when they're taking notes in class, they prefer to write them on paper. It helps them remember it and they can highlight and colourful and do lots of fantastic things. Some people prefer to use a computer so they can access the internet, type really fast and get as much information down that they can edit at a later point. Whichever one of those suits you is fine. However, owning a computer, even if you don't bring it to class, is very, very important. A lot of your units will have assessments that are only online. Almost all of your assignments are now submitted online. You can take lectures online. Contacting us is done by email a lot of the time. So having access to a good laptop is especially important. Now also keep in mind, if you're going into an area like engineering or IT, your computer might need to be a bit more powerful than an average iPad or a laptop. You might need to run some complex software on that. And a lot of that software is provided free by the university, but that doesn't mean anything if your computer can't run that software. So for all of you, if it's just a class or a lecture and it's just you listening and learning, however you take notes the best is the correct way. But all of you must have easy access to a computer because sometimes you'll just need to bring it. And unfortunately, not submitting an assignment on time because you didn't have a computer and had to find one is not an excuse to have late penalties removed. Keep that in mind. What else have we got? Doing an intensive course. When can I get details about textbooks? Textbooks. Wonderful. Now, for a lot of the units that you take in the intensive program and the standard foundation program as well, if anyone's doing that, who's listening today, you usually don't have a textbook. What you'll have instead is a unit reader. Now, this reader is not a whole book covering one subject. It covers lots of small subjects, excerpts from books, chapters from studies, things like that. And it's usually free. We give them to you on your first day of class. Now, for all my friends here who are in a diploma, you probably will have textbooks, and they do cost money. All of our textbooks are from a place called the Co-op Bookshop. Every university in Australia uses the Co-op Bookshop. So if you want to find out if your first units are going to have a textbook, go to your favourite web search browser and put in Co-op Bookshop. That's C-O-OP, Co-op. On their website, they have a textbook search engine. You can put in, I'm at this university and I'm going to take this unit, and it will tell you what textbooks you need. Now, there is another way that you can find out your textbook, and that's in what's called a unit guide. It's essentially a textbook in itself, but all it tells you is exactly how to complete the unit. It puts in all of your assignments, exactly what you're going to learn every class, and at the very end, the textbooks you may need. Now, keep in mind, not every unit has a textbook. Sometimes you might have a reader. Sometimes there might be nothing at all. And technically, you do not have to get your textbook through the Co-op Bookshop. If you can buy it secondhand, or if you can find a copy that is cheaper online, that is okay too. But if you're going to do that, make sure it is the same type of book. Academic textbooks often have versions that are updated every year with new information each time. So you don't want to have a textbook from 2005 that still thinks the internet doesn't exist. You'll want the most current one. And if you go through the Co-op, you can be guaranteed you're getting the most up-to-date book. So if you do go elsewhere, be careful about what you're buying. What else do we have? Can I get help with English? Yes, you can. There are a number of English resources on campus. If you're in the intensive or foundation programs, academic English skills are inbuilt into your program. Now, it's important to note that when I talk about academic English, I do not mean English language skills. We are talking about the ways that you must speak and write at a university. If you'd like English support, help with your spoken or general written English, there are some areas of the university that can help. The biggest one that I can think of is the Conversation Club that is part of the Faculty of Business and Economics. And look, Macquarie International College is part and connected with our English Language Centre on campus. Now, at this moment, we do not have any formal programs at the college to help you improve your English skills in general, but we may be able to organise something for you. So if you don't need academic English help, and you don't want to go to the Business and Economics faculty to be able to learn from their English Skills Club, come and talk to us. There may be something we can organise. However, there may also be a point where you need to investigate that yourself. Unfortunately, English is a hard language. A lot of it doesn't make sense, but we all speak it. It is the language of Macquarie, and it is the language of Australia. So there may be situations that if you need lots of extra help and we're unable to support you, that you'll need to look at outside tutors or support to bring your skills up. So if you feel that you're a little bit behind, maybe consider doing some real intensive study. There's some very good apps to help you learn languages. So have a look. What else do we have? Do I have to wear uniforms? No! Best part of university, you can wear what you want. And look, that ties into another part as well, which university can also be about experimentation with your own identity. So if you've usually worn uniforms back home, but you've always wanted to have a mohawk, get one. We don't mind. There is no dress requirement apart from having to wear clothes. Please do not turn up to class in your underwear. I will have to send you home. But apart from that, wear whatever you like. Shorts, thongs, T-shirts, button-up shirts, full suits, tuxedos, top hats, monocles, whatever you like. It doesn't matter. Anything else? Tell me something about the intensive program of science and engineering. It is for those who want to do engineering and science. There are also lots of other parts of it. As the science stream, you will be learning most likely our hardest level and highest level of mathematics. If you're going to IT and engineering, we're going to need to make sure you have the level of mathematical skill to be able to do well. Computers run on numbers. Physics run on numbers. Almost everything in human existence runs on mathematics at some point. So if you're going into that field, you'll need to learn it. You'll also have a special choice of 2 specific science units, either chemistry or biology. You get to choose one of them. And sometimes we can approve a different elective as well. But these are the 2 main ones the faculties want you to learn. Now, you might think, but I'm going to do IT. Why would I learn chemistry? And it sort of doesn't make sense. However, part of studying those subjects is not just learning the content, but it is also learning how to study and how to do your assignments in the style of the faculty you're going into. The type of assessment tasks like research reports, analyses and things like that will all be included in those elective units. So you might have to learn a new skill and learn a new bit about chemistry that you've never learned before, but at the same time, you will be subconsciously learning the skills that you need to succeed in your faculty in the first place. Now, there are 2 other units in intensive, and these are shared between all intensive programs. That's your Academic English 2 subject, which teaches you advanced academic English and how to complete assignments, and a Research for University Studies unit, which teaches you to research for your university studies. Getting good sources and good analyses are very important at university, along with making sure you appropriately recognise where you got your information. So, for anyone in the intensive program, everyone will do those 2 units at the either end of their program, one in first term, one in second term. But then you will each take different maths units and a different elective, depending on the stream. In science's case, our harder levels of math and biology or chemistry. Do you need a calculator? Depends on what subject you're doing. If you're in standard foundation or the intensive program, you will need a calculator, as everybody, regardless of stream, except for those in art stream, need to do math at some point. Additionally, it may just be good to have a calculator with you. I do know that most phones have calculators now as well. I've got one in my pocket, and most computers have calculators as well. But you will still need a physical calculator if you need it for an exam. And you might be surprised what you need a calculator for. Accounting is math. Economics is math. Finance is math. Math is math. There are a lot of opportunities to use a calculator, so it's good that you have your own one in case you need it in the future. And that looks like pretty much all of the questions. So 5 more seconds. And we're done. Thank you very much for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I will look forward to meeting you. Feel free on orientation day. You will see me there. Come up and say hello. I won't know who you are, but I'll know when you tell me. Now, as we said, we'll put up all the links and the details that we had before in the comments section. It might have already gone up. And look, if you want to review anything that you've seen today, you will be able to access a recorded version of today's presentation. Thanks, anonymous attendee number 6. I like you. You're very polite. I'll give you a high distinction. I can't do that. Don't ask me. See you later.